This is Archery Lab's The Wing Thing. It's a jig specifically designed for SpinWing style vanes. I'm using spider vanes, the white type, and the way they usually would put these is with a marking jig, and then you can mark each one of the position of the vanes, wait for the marker to dry, put in very sticky double-sided tape, align the vanes very carefully, and then put this spin striping tape. And this jig changes that. It's a really cool jig, and I'm gonna go over how to use it. All right, to start, let's see what comes inside the box. There are some instructions, but very few words. And there's a big emphasis on cutting the excess double-sided tape for the spinwings and how to use the clamp and rotating and how to rest it and so on. The jig itself is this. It's pretty simple, actually really clever. Has a little bungee rubber band that holds the arrow tensed in place. This is what holds onto the nock. And when the spinwing is properly cut to size and the double-sided tape is applied, then we just apply that to the spinwing. So no marking required. So the actual construction of this is pretty good. You notice that it's 3D printed. When I first saw this, I'm like, well, I could just model this and print it. I have a printer. But then I thought a little bit more about it and realized, hey, let's support these guys. This is actually really cool. There's not a lot of money to be made in archery, so whatever they can make, kudos to them. This is really cool. So some of the parts are aluminum, extruded aluminum, some screws that come with it, and it came with some little rubber bands that hold these in place, but you really don't need those. It's mostly just for having them in place while traveling. There's nothing else that comes in the box. I'll have links to their channel. Didn't see a lot of reviews about the wing thing. Been looking forward to doing this and doing that to my brand new arrows. So let's get started. The first step in the process, like with any other fletching setup, is to clean your arrows very well. I'm cleaning these with just a microfiber cloth, just getting any little bit of oily residue out of them. And I'll leave three shafts purposely unfletched while I'm still tuning to use these arrows. The position of the vanes are going to be about an inch from the back of where the arrows get knocked. I already did some measurements, and this should be the correct position for these arrows. As we get started, you'll notice that I'm not marking anything. I'm going to position the arrow in the knock block with the number 1 pointing up. Then on the other end, try and get it in the camera, this bungee cord that has the end cap, also 3D printed. It looks like a really good print. Okay, so next step is to put the vane inside this clamp block with the edges of the vane aligning to the bottom here. I'm gonna then apply the double-sided tape to the very edge here. Align it very carefully. Always helps to have a good pair of tweezers for doing this type of alignment. There it is. Cutting the excess. Make sure it's really stuck there and insert it's well aligned. Remove the backing. Position the clamp in place. Slide that in. Apply some pressure. And there you have it. Here's the first vein for this arrow. And then the next block, I didn't have to remove it, I just did it. The next block, we just spin this knock block to number 2. Repeat the process. You do get better at it as you get more used to the jig. I tried on my old arrows, trying to do this exact same thing, and disaster, because I could not get, I wasn't using tweezers, and I wasn't getting these very well aligned. But now I understand a little better that you have to get the vein, there you can see there, get the vein all the way to the bottom, and the double-sided tape also all the way there. We don't want it to get stuck on the clamp itself. Then you push it down, make sure that it's aligned. Trim some of the excess double-sided tape. Remove the tape backing. Apply pressure there. There it is. Grab the last one for this last side. Get that aligned. Excess. And then remove the tape backing. Position the clamp on the rail. Apply pressure, and voila. So now I have a chance to massage the veins in place, applying enough pressure so it's the double-sided tape adheres pretty well. The pinstripe tape usually start from the front, like so. I like how the sizes for the pinstripe tape on spider veins are very precise. And there you have it. There's our finished fletched arrow. So one thing that's really important to know whenever you're dealing with spinwings is that you can actually massage the veins even as the arrows hit each other, or the veins get damaged by when it goes through a target or a bale. And you can also massage them this way to control how much they spin. These are very flexible plastic, so it's not actually taking a lot of this massaging, but you can start seeing how it's no longer square. And that's how you can control how much to spin. To keep the arrows from getting too sticky, it's often good to put some talcum powder. This is actually cornstarch based, so it's works pretty well for this. So that's 9 arrows that I have fletched. I'm going to leave 3 as bare shafts while I'm still tuning to them. And for competitions, you're supposed to have your initials on the shaft of the arrow, not on the veins. That doesn't quite count. I do have white markers that work on writing on carbon, but the extends have something extra. If you ever noticed these 3 little squares, what they're for? They're for putting your initials on them. Now that we finished building our arrows, what do we think about the Archery Labs, the wing thing? Well, out of 5, we'll give it a 4. The main problem that we've had with this is the actual alignment of the wing has quite a bit of play here. Since this is 3D printed and it works for most spinwings, it would actually be a little bit better if we had multiple of these. Some of them that are rounded, and then when we're on the inside, to have more contact with the arrow, so for slightly different diameters. So that's something that maybe in the next version of the wing thing, I would like to see different radiuses on the inside to allow for more contact with the arrow, and maybe a little bit less play here. But out of all the other products dedicated for SpinWing fletching, this is probably one of the best ones I've seen. So, the Archery Labs, the wing thing. I'll add links to these in the description.